I can't give this game justice on how well the game was played or not. So I've got some help. Squidward, how well was the game today?
That was awful!
Kinda agree with you. But a win's a win. Let's do a review. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Drew, better known as RockChalk01, and today, yesterday, whenever you were watching this, the 2-0 Kansas Jayhawks headed west to Reno, Nevada to take on the 0-2 Nevada Wolfpack, and it came down to the wire, but ultimately Kansas came up victorious, winning the game by a final score of 31-24. Eek! This game was a tough one to watch because not only of the late start time, but how close this game was. This was a bad performance by the Kansas Jayhawks. And even though they won the game, it was dreadful. And this doesn't look good for KU at all heading into conference play next week because we got a tough opponent and they blew out an SEC team. We might be in trouble. But I digress. There was some good things that came out of this game, but there was a few bad things as well. So with that being said, for those of you who do not know, I give positives and negatives about the game, give a player the game, and a player who needs to improve. Without further adu, let's do it. KU's offense did well, and the defense, even though giving up 24 points, did well in terms of yards in the game, as KU won the yardage total for the entire game, winning that one 441 to 263. Now, KU's numbers are really favored by the passing game as KU outthrew Nevada 298 to 113. But despite having pretty much an even game with Nevada in terms of the ground game, Nevada ended up winning that one 150 to 143, but that really isn't a negative, as I think that's just more of a push in a way because it was only 7 yards. The offense did fine, I guess, even though there was a couple iffy plays, but with them having their backs against the wall, deadlocked at the break, it was interesting how well this offense did, and give the defense credit. They did their damnedest to try and make this a blowout game. And unfortunately, critical third down plays for Nevada really helped them, and the momentum was just in favor of the Wolfpack for most of the night. But we did well, making sure that they didn't get enough yards to really do much, and the offense did do some damage and got over 400 yards, which should be roughly around our average. I know it's 500 for the last 2 games, but 400 seems like a pretty good number for KU, so I'll take it as a positive. So having a productive offense and a solid defense in terms of total offense, gotta give it as a positive. Getting first downs and converting on third down, I consider as positives, as KU did really well, making sure that they got first downs in this ball game, and also converting on third down, which was a must. In terms of first downs, KU won that first down battle 24-14 and converted on 7 of 11 third down conversions. Converting on third down is a huge positive because most of them were third and medium situations. So like 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, even 3rd and 7. And KU managed to convert at least 7 out of the 11 times. At least KU converted, and also picked up some big first downs, and that was on first down runs, second down plays. And even though we had a chance to try for a fourth down play, we didn't do it, thank God. But converting and picking up first downs really helped us win this ball game. So yeah, picking up first downs and converting on third down and making sure that Nevada didn't, also a positive. Making sure Nevada didn't pick up the fourth down conversion at the end of the game, because that was the only fourth down conversion attempt the entire night. The fact that we've made sure that Nevada was 0 for 1 on fourth down conversions with under a minute to go, huge. If we didn't do that, oh boy, it'd probably be a different story, and it'd probably be later, and we'd be heading to overtime, potentially. So yeah, making sure they didn't convert on fourth down at the end of the game, easy positive. And the final positives are nitpick positives, as KU had less punts than Nevada. Nevada had 5, KU had 3, and KU had the ball longer in the game than Nevada did, as KU had the ball for 31 minutes and 51 seconds, while Nevada had it for 28 minutes and 9 seconds. So, yeah, for the most part, there were a lot of good things in this ball game, and KU got the win. So yeah, with all that said, those are my positives. Now to the negatives, and oh boy, let's start with the big one. KU lost the turnover battle, as KU had 1 fumble lost in this game, while Nevada, even though having 5 fumbles in the game, all of them were given back to the Wolfpack, so they ended up with 0 turnovers for the entire night. How the heck could we not recover the stupid ball? It's beyond me. I thought we could get one, and we almost got one at the end, but unfortunately, Hayden Hatcher had his freaking feet out of bounds, so that ended up giving him the 4th down portion anyway. But man, if we would have just recovered a stupid fumble, the turnover situation would have been an easy positive. And the fumble that we had, that was by, it was by Jalen Daniels, was icky. Gross. Yeah, we got to do better taking care of the stinking ball, because we fumbled it 3 times as well, with Devin, Daniel, and Jalen all doing it. So turnovers is a negative. And the final negative, I waited till the end to do it, penalties. So many penalties. It was a problem last game, and it looks like we didn't do a dang thing about it. Granted, there were no targeting calls, but it felt like it with how many holding calls on both sides of the ball, defensive and offensive, false start, kick out of bounds, pass interference, 4 types of penalties that we got. Oh, and a face mask. KU had 7 penalties for 53 yards, while Nevada only had 3 for 31. An unsportsmanlike conduct, a false start, and a pass interference. Really? I know I'm going to sound like ignorant and all that stuff, but these were Big 12 refs. They really couldn't see that there was a couple holding calls on Nevada that should have been called. I mean, we just got to make sure we keep our hands to ourselves and not do anything stupid, because with this much penalties, we should have been upset. If we didn't have these penalties, there's a good chance KU blows out Nevada or wins by like 2 or 3 scores. So yeah, penalties, obvious negative. And with all that said, those are my negatives. Now, player of the game. I've got co-players of the game once again, but this time I do have an honorable mention. And the honorable mention is Mason Fairchild. After giving him the player who needs to improve during the Illinois game, my God, he had an incredible game. And although it didn't live up to the statures, I got to give him an honorable mention for it. He had 5 catches for 74 yards, averaging roughly 15 yards per catch. That's a solid night. So Mason Fairchild is my honorable mention, but my co-players of the game has to be the quarterback and running back duo of Jalen Daniels and Devin Neal. Let's start with Jalen Daniels. He actually played well throwing the ball. In fact, he got his season high in terms of yardage, 21 to 27 for 298. The fact that there were 6 drops and 2 of them should have been picks, I mean, what can you say? He had an incredible game. Unfortunately for the rushing game, didn't really help him, as he had 7 carries for -4. And that also includes being sacked like a ton. But in terms of his accuracy, and my God, his accuracy looked weak in the first half, but in terms of the second half, incredible. And the fact that he almost got 300 yards, it was pretty much inevitable that I'd give him a nod. So yeah, Jalen Daniels is one of my co-players of the game. And my other player of the game, as I said, it's Devin Neal. Another great performance. And it was mostly on the ground game, because he was responsible for 3/4 of KU's offensive scoring. My God. Devin finished with 17 carries for 89 yards, 5.2 yards per carry, and 3 rushing touchdowns. Not only that, he also had a catch for 59 that almost was a touchdown, but unfortunately he was called out at the 1. But over 150 yards total, and actually 160 yards total in the game for Devin Neal. look out, folks. He might get 1,000 yards. He's inching closer. I think he's got over 300 for the season in terms of rushing yards. Receiving, I think he's got like 70, maybe 80 yards, I think. But yeah, if it wasn't for Devin Neal being a freaking bulldog when it came to running the ball and also having that incredible speed and quickness when it came to that long reception, KU probably would have lost. So yeah, real deal Devin Neal, the mayor of Lawrence, if you want to put it. Yeah, he deserves my player of the game. So with that said, my co-players of the game, Jalen Daniels and Devin Neal. Player who needs to improve, I got to give it to Lawrence Arnold. Yeah, even though he had a semi-productive night, I thought he needed to get more, in my opinion, as he is KU's leading receiver. 5 catches for 46 yards, an average of 9.2 yards per catch. I mean, that's what happens when you get covered a lot and you don't get the receptions you need. But my goodness, if he would have got himself frickin' open more, he would have had a stellar day. And it looked like that in the first half, but then after that, it just dipped quick. So hopefully that changes in the upcoming weeks. But for now, Lawrence Arnold is my player who needs to improve. Now, before I go, I do have a top play for you, and wouldn't you know it, it's the game-defining moment that gave KU the victory, as Nevada tried some trickery on a 4th down and 1 with the jet sweep, but ultimately Kenny Logan read the offense like a book and got a huge TFL that ultimately gave KU the win. So here's Kenny's big play. Although Nevada still had a minute left, even if they would have picked it up, it probably would have been hard to do. But thank God Kenny got it done. So congratulations to Kenny Logan Jr. for achieving my top play. And with all that said, that's going to do it for my review of KU versus Nevada. Again, the final score, Kansas 31, Nevada 24. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe, and push that notification bell, and tell your friends about these videos. And I shall see you again for the next review as the Hawks will return home to David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium for their first Big 12 conference game, as they will take on new conference member BYU, which should be an interesting ball game, especially being on ESPN, which got announced a couple days ago. So it'll be interesting. But until then, have a good day. Never ever bring exotic dashes to the field house. I'll catch ya on the flip side. Peace.